All right, and here is g, which this little beauty is called a step function because it kind of looks like some steps. And what I can see is I'm going to do the domain first, and I can kind of see that this starts at -3 and it goes all the way to 3. And remember, those line segments, those are like infinite collection of points, so they're all covered. But on this far right side, that last point is a circle and it's not filled in, so we call that open. And what that means is that point isn't included in the domain. Whereas on the right at -3, way down at the bottom, not where the arrow is pointing, it's actually closed. It's filled in, so that -3 is included. Then as you go across, what happens is if you look at 2 and 1, those open circles at those points are actually filled in by the closed circles up above. So it makes it so that our domain is everything from -3, including -3, all the way to +3, but not including 3. So we got to write that a little differently. So how we do that is basically it starts at -3, and then we're going to say -3 is less than or equal. So it's equal because of the closed. So it's less than or equal to x, which is less than 3. Anytime anything is going on a range where it's starting somewhere and ending somewhere, it's always less than less than. And in this case, -3 is less than x. Well, the mouth is opening towards the x, so the x values are bigger than -3, and then the other mouth is opening towards the 3, so the x values are smaller than +3. So it's bigger than -3 but smaller than 3 is what this domain is. So they always set up this way if you go from smallest to largest. Okay, so again, the less than for the 3 is because of the open, and the less than equal to for the -3 is because it's closed circles there. Now on to the domain, and what happens here is that there's basically, as you're going up and down, there's just every little segment has just one y value. It's a whole bunch of points with y values of -3, of -2, of 1, of 0, of 1, of 2. So the range in this case is just like A, B, C, and D. We just put the little squiggly brackets, and it's just these y values because there's no connecting between the steps. H is basically the same, just kind of turned around. So this time the domain is just all of this segment has an x value of -3. All of this segment has an x value of -2. So all I do for the domain is write them out. -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. And with the squiggly brackets to say this is my set of x values. The range, on the other hand, starts at -3 and goes up to 3, but I'm just going to show it backwards. So there it is, a 3 going all the way to -3. It's closed at 3 and open at -3. So that open, that -3 is going to be less than and not equal to, whereas the 3 is going to get the equal to when I write this out. So bottom to top, I'm going to write this as -3 is less than x or less than y, make sure don't make that mistake, is less than or equal to 3. That's a really common mistake when asking for the domain and you write y. It's always in multiple choice. They'll put that kind of thing, so just be careful of that. Anyways, on to the next examples.